Good evening, faculty, students, and parents. Before I begin this evening's address, I would like for all of us to show our support to all healthcare professionals, first responders, and essential workers fighting on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. Please join me in rallying a honking support for them. I am grateful to have been given the distinct honor by my fellow 2020 graduates as valedictorian to speak on behalf of our student body as we celebrate our accomplishments and enter the next chapter of our lives tonight. The school year began as any other has. We were all nervous about getting top marks for university, but excited about the prospect of finishing high school and moving on to that which lay ahead of us. We then heard about a strange new virus that was taking its toll on countries around the world. COVID-19, the most devastating global pandemic in over 100 years, would strike and force the closure of nearly every school in Canada for the remainder of the school year. There was, in fact, much more in store for every 2020 graduating class around the world. Where there were a majority of schools closed, Blythe Academy remained open virtually. When we left for March break, we were all saying goodbye to one another like we'd be seeing each other in just 10 days' time, but little did we know that seeing each other through our laptops was all that we would be doing for the rest of the year, because Premier Ford made the decision to close every school in Ontario. This was the latest example of how Blythe Academy anticipated, planned, and adapted to an unprecedented challenge during conflicting times. After all of what we have been through, and for which we have yet to face, I'm reminded of one of Aesop's fables, and let me tell you the story. Long ago and far away, the wind and the sun were arguing over who was the strongest. They spotted a man walking down a country road and agreed upon a challenge to see which of them could remove the coat from the man's back the quickest. The wind went first. He blew strong gusts of air, so strong that the man could barely walk against them. But the man clutched his coat tightly. The wind blew harder and longer, and the harder the wind blew, the tighter the man held his coat against him, buttoning it up to his neck. The wind blew until he was exhausted, relenting as he could not remove the coat from the man's back. It was now the sun's turn, and she gently sent her beams upon the traveler. The sun appeared to do very little, but she kindly shone her warmth upon his head until the man became so warm that he took off his coat, folded it over his arm, and headed for the nearest patch of shade. Where the wind was unsuccessful, the power and influence of warmth and kindness will always overcome any form of brute force. In 2020, the term influencer has grown to represent a very distinct meaning. An influencer today is someone who through social media has accumulated thousands and sometimes millions of followers to their platform. They then influence followers to buy certain products or services that they feature and use. This has become a multi-billion-dollar industry, and many have become celebrities due to their wealth and following. But the term influencer is not new by any means. Think of the likes of Martin Luther King Jr., Margaret Thatcher, or JFK, and so many others. They were powerfully influential leaders, creating change and shaping our history on this planet. Where these influencers have sparked widespread change on a national and even global level, do we have to be a powerful leader, speaker, or have millions of digital followers to be an influencer? I think not. Each and every one of us can be an influencer through being brave, being kind, and staying true to oneself. Did the sun give in to the wind? No. She accepted the challenge and crafted a kinder, more gentle way of removing the man's coat. To quote American author Ken Blanchard, "The key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority." This means that just because someone has officially been given power over others does not necessarily make them a better or more effective influencer. We are now seeing this principle manifest itself on our television screens as millions of people across North America and around the world march, sending a message that authority alone is not enough anymore. Popular author Simon Sinek wrote that true strength is having the courage to admit weakness. This is a quality that is harder and harder to find in recent years. Political leaders, law enforcement, and even businesses are more and more reticent to admit wrongdoing or to making a mistake. There's this fear that even an apology is an admission of guilt and that it shows weakness. As we watch what is happening around the world today, I can't think of a better time for the leaders of our countries, cities, and communities to be able to say, "I'm sorry, we made a mistake. Let's work to do better and take a good hard look at what we want our society to look like for our children together." In George Lucas's epic film Star Wars, Princess Leia as a prisoner said it best when addressing Darth Vader about his plan to control the entire galaxy. "Lord Vader, the more you tighten your grip on our people, the more they will slip through your fingers." We, the graduating class of 2020, are an amazing mosaic of people from across Canada and around the world. With different backgrounds and stories, there's one thing that I think we all share: our desire to make a difference in the world around us. The question is, how? Author Henry Adams once said that teachers affect eternity. No one can tell where their influence stops. We have been given the opportunity of a world-class education here at Blythe Academy, London, and we have been taught by some of the best and most passionate teachers in the world. We, the class of 2020, are who our teachers have influenced. They've done that by challenging us to work hard, to have an open mind, and challenging ourselves and others to be better. We are what make their influence march on for eternity. I read recently that you will never influence the world by trying to be just like it. We must all keep that in mind as we go out to challenge the norms and authority of the past and present, and to overturn the way things have always been done, to influence each other, and to change our world with nothing more than kindness, compassion, and resolve. It's been said that after 2020, the world will never be the same, and that there will be a new normal that the world will have to adapt to. To this point, I couldn't agree more, because the sun is rising, and our class of 2020 is going to make absolutely certain that change and a new and better normal is exactly what's coming. Finally, to the class of 2020 of Blythe Academy, London, congratulations, as we all see our future with 2020 vision. Thank you.